Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello, my beloved friends. Welcome once again to this installment of the Joshua Jordan Experience. As you have discovered watching our videos that I, Jordan, a student of Joshua's for 40 plus years. Actually, I think it's like 43, 44 years now that I have been channeling Joshua and learning the seventh major understanding of Message of Awakening. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about what Joshua teaches around the multiverse. This is not in the book, The Seventh Major Understanding. You see, the seventh major understanding was designed to just introduce people at a very introductory, understandable level of oneness. And there are a lot of elements of Joshua's teaching of oneness that are not included in this book because he considers them more advanced and certainly not necessary to your awakening to oneness. But multiverse is something that's kind of fascinating and interesting, and I do think some of our audience might find this conversation noteworthy, interesting, something to chew on. So, what Joshua teaches, and I have also had other non-physical teachers like Seth who share this perspective. Every thought and every choice that we make creates a probable reality. And that probable reality becomes much more possible to manifest. The more you dwell on it, the more you think about it, the more energy you give to it. In fact, I was going to share a quote from Dan Millman about that. He wrote, "Energy follows thought. We move toward, but not beyond, what we can imagine. What we assume, expect, and believe creates our experience." I'm not finished with the Dan Millman quote, but I'm going to go over that line again because it's power packed. What we assume, expect, and believe creates our experience. By expanding our deepest beliefs about what is possible, we change our experience of life. Again, that's author Dan Millman. So, the energy of your thoughts that we are talking about here creates these probable realities. And there are multiple probable realities based on how many choices you're facing every day, decisions you make. So the decision you don't make, the choice you don't choose, also exists in the multiverse as a possible reality for you to experience. So there's probable reality. The more energy you put into it, it becomes a possible reality. And then, of course, when your energy is totally aligned with a choice, a manifestation that you choose, it will appear. That is how Joshua teaches how we create our own reality. So it begins in the moment of choice. Now, let's talk about the impact of this over global experience. Yes, there are multiple Earths, according to what Joshua teaches me. The one that we are on, the timeline that we are sharing, is not necessarily the only possible Earth we could be dwelling on. And Joshua says we do make shifts from time to time from one parallel reality to another without even recognizing it. But if you made a shift that was really drastic, you would notice. For example, if you made a shift into a reality where World War II was won by the Axis of Germany, Italy, and Japan, you would see a totally different global landscape. And that Earth exists, and yet it's not the one that you are engaged in if you are hearing my voice on this video. You are engaged in living a map of global countries that were affected by World War II, being won by the Allies, our allies, of course. So the world that we live in, the one that you and I are sharing, this timeline that we believe is history, shows us a world that was the World War II was won by the United States and our allies. So now I want to talk about the future. I don't talk about the future because Joshua tells me the future is ever in motion. And yet, from his point of view, there are already these multiple Earths that exist, and we exist within these multiple worlds. And he can observe from his point of view what the outcomes of our collective consciousness are. So within the collective consciousness, there is definitely the movement toward easing the fear-based reality, letting it take less power over our environment and introducing the compassion-based, the love-based, the peace-seeking, peace-loving. So Joshua tells me there is an earth that is manifest where there really is global peace. All the nations of the world have signed global treaties to say they will not make war on any neighbor or any other nation, and that all of the issues that face a country are brought before a council that leads these nations and resolves things in ways that are equitable, balanced. So you don't need to take from someone when we're willing to give you what you need. So this allows us to actually usher in an age of peace on earth. It is a challenge to our creativity. It's something we have not done before. We need to be able to dwell on this world at peace. And how do we get there? I make peace with me. So I start here. Whenever I have an internal conflict, I want to make sure I resolve that in a way that respects what is what are the opposing needs here? What needs am I ignoring, perhaps, that are crying out for my attention? So when I have a conflict within, I resolve it peacefully without coercing myself to do something I don't want to do, without forcing myself. You see, coercion, force, these are elements that can lead to, in the collective consciousness, nations at war. So when we learn to resolve conflict internally without coercion or force, we are becoming peacemakers. And as I learn to be a peacemaker within, when I am in situations where there is conflict between people, then I want to offer my mediation skills to say, let's resolve this in a way that respects both parties, all parties involved, and comes to some consensus and compromise. And maybe not everyone will get all that they want, but everyone will get some of what they want, and certainly will get what they need. And this is how we move toward an age of peace and love and compassion. There is a world that exists in which there are ample resources available to all people, such that they do not need to strive or worry about shelter. They do not need to strive or worry about sustenance, nutrition, food. There's plenty for everyone. Also, in this society, we live in harmony with Earth. And that is why she becomes even more bountiful and able to provide for us all that we need when we live in harmony with our mother, the planet that provides all that we need to survive. This new age, I tell you more about it in the book, The Seventh Major Understanding. This age of, I've often referred to it just as a golden age, a modern golden age. It's been a while since we had a golden age, and it's a challenge to our creativity to make it happen. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you, very frank about this. There is also an Earth where we are no longer inhabiting the planet. Human beings actually created such an environment that the human species could not survive here any longer. So that exists. And whether or not we create that is totally up to the mass consciousness. But Joshua tells me it has occurred. There is an Earth that has no humans on it. Well, Earth has had no humans on it for a period of time in our long past, and it's quite possible Earth will go on without humans on it. So, if we want to stay here, though, we need to be good stewards, and that's a part of the seventh major understanding as well, taking on a role of stewardship on our planet. There's also a United States within one of these worlds that has crumbled, that has fallen from its dominance on the global stage. All civilizations, all great civilizations that we look at throughout history have come and gone. And the United States of America is another one of those civilizations that, for a time, wanted to exercise its dominance on the world stage. And learning the proper use of power, there's always a lesson. If you abuse your power, a lesson follows. And if you pay attention to the lesson, you grow. You understand how to be a better citizen of the world, a citizen nation of the world, rather than abusing power or force. So, in the multiverse, everything that you can imagine to be possible exists. And where you manifest your consciousness, where you direct your consciousness to dwell, is totally within your control. So you need not be on a planet at war. You need not live on a planet where starvation is prevalent. You need not live on a planet where people fear one another and lock their doors and hoard their resources. We don't need to live this way. Now, humankind has evolved. See, I used the word evolution again, and Joshua does not like it. So let me rephrase that. Humankind has awakened very slowly from our slumber to realize that we are all connected and everything you think, feel, and do affects the collective. That is how powerful you are. And I recognize that if you are listening to me, you're interested in making a positive change in this world for all beings. So thank you for listening to me rattle on about multidimensional being. Well, actually, I didn't dwell in multidimensional being today. I talked more about multiverse, multiple Earths. But of course, that requires multidimensional existence. So it's all tied together, and sometimes I try to tease it apart so we can look at certain aspects of it. And yet, the goal of teaching the seventh major understanding is to remind us there's only one being here. There's only one mind here. And the one that created all that is manifesting as you, through you, and 8 billion other people on this planet. And not only that, The one that created all that is exists in every grain of sand, every blade of grass, every animal that crawls upon the ground, every creature that we dwell with, those who fly, those who swim, all the animals of the world are a part of all that is, and they also have a right to be here, to live the very best existence they can. Thank you for your attention. I will be quiet now and bring Joshua through to you. Hello, beloved one. It is my joy to be speaking to you once again. Today, I will just touch on the fact that your understanding of how creation works and how time works is very unnecessary, truly, for your adventure of a lifetime. However, some of you are ready for these deeper layers of understanding to take you beyond the surface of what appears to be happening in all that is. As a human being, you do not necessarily need to know that every thought you have creates a probable reality, and every feeling you have puts out an energy that begins to draw a like energy toward you. So, just knowing that, being aware of the content of your thoughts, the content of your feelings, will allow you to be much more present in the choosing of your energy field, the probable realities that you create all around you, the possible realities that you draw to yourself. As you understand that it is the energy of emotion, it is the frequency of feeling that actually is the magnet, that is the attractor in what is taught to you as the law of attraction. It is not the repetition of thought or the repetition of affirmation that actually creates the reality. However, the repetition of affirmation can help you visualize. And when you visualize, you start to feel how you will feel when that is happening. So that is the benefit, the value in repeating your affirmations, but be sure to infuse into that which you want to create feeling of contentment, feeling of gratitude, contentment and gratitude for that which I am creating, knowing it is on its way to me now. And I can just rest assured my reality is unfolding as it should. That is all I will say for today. Thank you again for tuning into our channel. This Joshua Jordan experience is a channel, and Jordan is my chosen channel. And we have great things coming in the future. We'll keep you informed. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you again. I bid you good day. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, "Let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun."